The Pentagon is rewriting America's nuclear war playbook, drafting a strategy that leans heavily on tactical nukes so Trump has more options in a fight with Russia or China. Under the new plan, Trump would be offered a wider menu of shorter-range, lower-yield nuclear strikes aimed at battlefield and military targets, rather than jumping straight from conventional force to city-killer ICBMs. The strategy is being shaped as Putin openly prepares for nuclear war scenarios and Russia fields a vast, diversified tactical arsenal. Washington is rushing to pivot toward tactical nukes as a way to protect allies in a regional crisis, seeking weapons it can actually threaten to use if Poland, Japan, or Taiwan come under fire. All this unfolds just months after New START expired, stripping away caps on US and Russian strategic warheads and triggering what experts warn is a new nuclear arms race without treaty limits. Putin and Xi are already warning Europe that any expansion of US nuclear plans will make the continent a frontline target in the next nuclear crisis. The Pentagon is drafting a new nuclear strategy that explicitly plans for potential conflict with Russia or China, shifting away from an almost exclusive reliance on long-range strategic missiles. The aim, NBC reports, is to give Trump more nuclear choices in regional crises, options between do-nothing and all-out Armageddon, especially if US allies like Poland, Japan, or Taiwan come under attack. The draft is designed around scenarios where US treaty partners are under threat or already being hit, with planners mapping how nuclear firepower might be used to shore up failing conventional defenses without triggering full-scale exchange. To do that, the review pivots towards shorter-range tactical nuclear weapons, emphasizing smaller warheads aimed at military targets and battlefields rather than cities and national command centers. This rethink comes as the New START treaty, the last binding cap on US and Russian deployed strategic warheads, expired with no replacement, leaving both arsenals unconstrained for the first time in over 50 years. New START had capped deployed strategic warheads at 1,550 each. Its demise means Washington and Moscow are now legally free to expand their long-range nuclear forces alongside any tactical build-out. Russia has signaled it will not expand first if the US shows restraint, but with arms control gone and US doctrine moving toward more flexible use, the credibility of that assurance looks increasingly fragile. Trump, meanwhile, has sought a broader nuclear deal that would also rope in China, arguing any future framework must address Beijing's growing arsenal rather than remain a bilateral US.Russia pact. Beijing has rejected joining such talks, saying the major nuclear powers should lead on deep disarmament before demanding limits from a much smaller Chinese force, effectively stalling Trump's trilateral ambitions. Moscow has answered that any new treaty should also include France and the UK, signaling Russia will not accept a US.Russia-China triangle that ignores other Western nuclear states. In parallel, Russia expanded its nuclear doctrine in 2024 to cover certain large-scale conventional attacks, lowering the threshold at which it might legally consider nuclear use. Under that doctrine, nuclear weapons could be used if Russia or Belarus faced a critical threat to state survival, even from non-nuclear strikes, hardening Moscow's deterrent posture. Russian officials have also warned they would target countries hosting US nuclear weapons in Europe, explicitly putting NATO's nuclear-sharing states on the front line in any future escalation. Russia has expanded major Arctic naval drills, taking its submarine force closer to NATO's northern flank. Moscow says the exercise included simulated hunts for hostile submarines in a scenario mirroring NATO operations. The drills come shortly after Russia unveiled new long-range strike upgrades for its Su-34 bomber fleet. Russia's Northern Fleet rehearsed anti-submarine warfare and coordinated attacks against a mock NATO naval group. Nuclear-powered submarines launched cruise and anti-ship missiles as part of the large-scale combat exercise. Russia's Northern Fleet staged a major live-fire naval exercise close to Norway's border, according to the Barents Observer. Norwegian authorities said the drill took place only a few kilometers from their border in the Barents Sea, though entirely within international waters. Moscow said the exercise simulated repelling a hostile naval strike group resembling a NATO force approaching Russia's northern maritime frontier. Russian footage showed the Oscar II-class submarine Oral's combat console tracking submarine silhouettes identified as US and British naval platforms. The display included icons resembling the US Los Angeles-class, Virginia-class, and Britain's Astute-class attack submarines during the simulation. The Russian Defense Ministry said the mock enemy force was engaged from a distance of roughly 300 kilometers during the exercise. The frigate Admiral Golovko fired a Caliber land attack cruise missile during the coordinated live-fire naval exercise. The guided missile cruiser Marshal Ustinov launched a long-range Vulcan anti-ship cruise missile against the simulated target. A Bastion coastal defense battery fired an Onyx supersonic anti-ship missile from Russia's northern coastline. The Oscar II-class nuclear-powered submarine Orel launched 3 Granite long-range anti-ship cruise missiles during the drill. TV Zvezda reported the Onyx missile remained in flight for nearly 6 minutes before successfully striking its designated maritime target. Based on the reported flight duration, analysts suggested the missile's impact area may have fallen inside Norway's exclusive economic zone. The Kola Peninsula remains the core of Russia's northern fleet and hosts a significant share of Moscow's naval nuclear deterrent forces. Norwegian authorities said they, together with NATO allies, closely monitored the entire Russian exercise from its beginning until completion. Russia's Su-34 fighter bomber is drawing renewed attention after reports claimed it could be integrated with a long-range Kh-101 cruise missile. The reported combination could blur the traditional distinction between tactical strike fighters and strategic bomber aircraft in Russia's arsenal. Reports said the Kh-101's reported 5,500 kilometer range could allow Su-34 aircraft to launch deep strikes without entering NATO-controlled airspace. Twin-seat multi-role fighter bomber developed from the Su-27 flanker airframe for long-range strike operations. Reported combat radius of around 1,100 kilometers, while carrying a standard precision strike payload. Ferry range can reportedly reach up to 8,000 kilometers with external fuel tanks and reduced combat load. Compatible with glide bombs, cruise missiles, and a wide range of precision-guided weapons for standoff attacks. Air-launched long-range cruise missile developed for precision deep strike missions against strategic targets. Reported strike range of up to 5,500 kilometers, enabling attacks far beyond the launch aircraft's combat radius. Uses a low observable terrain following flight profile designed to reduce radar detection and improve survivability. Reportedly available in both conventional and nuclear-capable variants, giving it strategic and tactical strike roles. Analysts said the standoff pairing could complicate NATO's defense planning by expanding Russia's ability to launch long-range attacks from safer distances. The Su-34 has already been used extensively in Ukraine to deliver glide bombs and long-range precision missiles against targets behind the front line. Air-launched long-range cruise missile designed for deep penetration precision strikes against strategic land targets. Reported range of up to 5,500 kilometers, allowing launch aircraft to engage targets from well outside hostile airspace. Low observable terrain following flight profile helps reduce radar detection and improve survivability against air defenses. Reported conventional and nuclear-capable variants provide flexibility for both strategic deterrence and long-range strike missions. Russia is also expanding Su-34 production while incorporating combat lessons learned during the war in Ukraine into newer aircraft. The reported development has raised questions over whether Moscow is reshaping its long-range airstrike doctrine for future conflicts. Defense analysts said the platform could significantly expand Russia's ability to conduct standoff precision strikes against targets across Europe. A modernized Russian T-80B VM tank was reportedly spotted on a railway flat car in July 2026, with images circulating on social media showing the armored vehicle being transported by rail. The social media images appear to show the tank heading toward an undisclosed destination, although the available photographs do not reveal where the vehicle was departing from or where it was ultimately bound. The image alone does not confirm the tank's destination or identify the military unit expected to receive it, leaving its deployment location and operational role unverified. According to reports, the vehicle features a redesigned anti-drone cage mounted above the turret, reflecting continued efforts to improve protection against evolving battlefield threats. Russian and Ukrainian troops have nicknamed this type of cage design the Mongol or barbecue grill, a term that has become widely associated with improvised and modified anti-drone armor. The cage is designed to detonate first-person view, or FPV, drone warheads before they can strike the tank's comparatively vulnerable top armor, reducing the effectiveness of such attacks. The tank also appears to feature an upgraded explosive reactive armor layout, with additional protective elements visible across key sections of the vehicle. The explosive reactive armor is intended to disrupt incoming anti-tank rounds before impact, improving the tank's survivability against missiles and other armor-penetrating weapons. Russia's T-80B VM is a modernized version of the Soviet-era T-80B V main battle tank, featuring upgraded systems and improved battlefield capabilities designed to meet the demands of modern armored warfare. The tank entered service after being unveiled during the 2017 Zapad military exercises, where Russia showcased several updated platforms as part of its military modernization efforts. The T-80B VM uses a gas turbine engine that provides high mobility across varied terrain, allowing the tank to operate effectively in challenging environments and rapidly maneuver on the battlefield. Its standard protection package includes relict explosive reactive armor, which is designed to improve survivability by reducing the effectiveness of incoming anti-tank projectiles and missile threats. Rostec delivered new batches of upgraded T-90M, T-80B VM, and T-72B3M tanks in May 2026, as part of Russia's ongoing efforts to modernize its armored fleet amid changing battlefield conditions. The company said the upgrades were developed using lessons learned from the war in Ukraine, where tanks have faced new challenges from drones, precision weapons, and evolving combat tactics. The May upgrades included stronger anti-drone cages and additional side armor, designed to provide increased protection against attacks targeting vulnerable areas of armored vehicles. The tanks also received the Vulnerez electronic warfare system, which is intended to disrupt drone signals and provide an additional layer of defense against unmanned aerial threats. The system is reportedly designed to interfere with drone control links within a range of up to 1,000 meters, potentially reducing the effectiveness of enemy-operated unmanned systems near the vehicles. The reported upgrade suggests that Russia is continuing to adapt its tank designs and battlefield equipment in response to the growing role of drones in modern warfare.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.